Today's tech news moves fast, but understanding it shouldn't be hard. That's why Snarful Solutions Group brings you Connecting the Dots, where we break down what's happening in tech and why it matters to you. Now, let's dive in with your hosts.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Alex.
And I'm Morgan.
Welcome to Connecting the Dots, coming to you from the Snarful Solutions Group studios here in beautiful Sacramento, California. Today's Monday, February 9th, 2026.
And if you're looking outside here in Sacramento, you might be asking where the city went. It is a foggy one this morning.
A thick one. But the good news is it's supposed to burn off. We're looking at a cloudy high of 63 degrees later on.
Yeah, which is more than you can say for some other parts of the country. The national map is pretty active.
It really is. We're seeing critical fire weather warnings across the high plains. You've got gusty winds, super low humidity, just a tinderbox, really.
And then you look out over the Pacific, and Hawaii is getting hit hard. Heavy rain, high winds. They're expecting power outages. So a rough start to the week out there.
Definitely. Keep safe if you're in one of those areas.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a quick look at the markets. A bit of a mixed open to the week. The Dow Jones closed down slightly, about 170 points.
Yeah, just under that 50,000 mark. The S&P 500, though, is basically flat, up just a tiny fraction of a percent.
And what about Bitcoin?
Bitcoin is seeing a little red. It's dipped about 1.5%, sitting around $69,297.
Okay, so a little bit of a pullback to start the week. Now, we have a ton to get to today, but first, coffee.
Yes, and especially on a foggy morning like this, we want to talk about our sponsor, Strong Coffee.
You know, when I hear instant coffee, my brain immediately goes to that, bitter, sludgy stuff you get on an airplane.
Oh, the worst. Yeah, this is not not even in the same universe.
Strong Coffee is premium instant coffee, but it's really built for, function.
It's the ingredients. That's the key. You get 15 grams of protein, which is great, but also MCTs.
Which are basically clean fuel for your brain, right?
Yeah.
They bypass the normal digestive process and go straight to your liver for energy.
Exactly. And then they add in adaptogens like ashwagandha, which helps level you out so you don't get that crazy jittery spike and then the 2 p.m. crash. It's just clean, sustained energy.
It's a game changer. And we've got a deal for you. Use our promo code SNARFUL, that's SNARFUL, for 20% off your entire purchase at strongcoffeecompany.com.
You really should try it. It's a great way to start the morning.
All right, let's open up the Morning Star, our Snarful Tech article report, and connect some dots. First up, the Super Bowl.
Or, more accurately, the AI Bowl. The game was fine, but the commercials, that was the real battleground.
It was an absolute blitz. I mean, OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, Microsoft, they all spent millions.
But the tone was so different, wasn't it? I keep thinking back to the Crypto Bowl in 2022. That was all swagger and FOMO. Fortune favors the brave.
Right. This felt almost defensive, like they were asking for permission to exist.
That's a perfect way to put it. And they're all fighting different PR battles. Let's start with Anthropic, the makers of Claude. Their ad got a lot of buzz.
Oh, the short king one. That was funny.
It was hilarious. A guy asks a big buff robot for a six-pack, and the AI tries to sell him shoe insoles to make him taller.
Height maxing 10, I think they call it.
Right. But the tagline was so pointed. Ads are coming to AI, but not to Claude. They're positioning themselves as the premium, privacy-focused choice.
The anti-Google, baby.
Exactly. But it definitely ruffled some feathers. Sam Altman from OpenAI tweeted that the ad was funny but clearly dishonest.
Oof, shots fired.
Well, his point is that, they're a business. They have to make money eventually. So pretending you're above monetization is a tough promise to keep.
And OpenAI went in the complete opposite direction with their ad. It was so earnest.
So serious. Yeah, it felt like a documentary, just showing how AI can be a tool for human potential. No jokes, no flash.
They want to be seen as the bicycle for the mind. They're trying to fight that fear that AI is just coming for your job.
Right. Then you had the big guys, Amazon and Google. Amazon went for pure humor.
The Chris Hemsworth spot. He literally says Alexa is trying to kill us.
Which is such a smart move. They're taking the whole Skynet fear and turning it into a punchline. If you can laugh at it, it's not as scary.
And Google just went straight for the heartstrings with the mom and the son moving. But why does this matter? Why spend all this money just to seem nice?
Because the public is deeply skeptical. We were looking at a Pew Research poll. 53% of Americans think AI will worsen creative thinking. 57% rate the societal risks as high.
Wow.
So these companies see the writing on the wall. Regulation is coming. This was a massive, very expensive campaign to win public opinion before Congress steps in.
A race to be seen as the good guy.
Okay, let's pivot from the digital world to the very physical world of the Italian Alps.
The 2026 Winter Olympics in Milan Cortina.
I was watching some of the downhill skiing earlier, and I swear the broadcast just looks faster, more intense.
It's not your imagination. They are calling this the most tech-integrated Olympics ever, and it starts with the cameras. They're using high-speed FPV drones.
First-person view. Yep. These things can fly up to 75 miles per hour, and the pilots wear VR goggles to fly them. They are literally chasing the athletes down the mountain.
That explains it. You feel every bump, every little adjustment. It's so visceral.
It really is. But the tech that blew my mind was the replays. They're calling them Matrix style.
Okay, break that down. What does that mean?
It's a partnership with Alibaba. They use a whole array of cameras to capture a 360-degree video. Then, in the cloud, they can freeze an athlete in midair and let you rotate the camera around them.
So you can see the exact form of a snowboarder from any angle while they're frozen in the air.
Any angle. And they can overlay the trajectory. They're even doing it in curling. You can see the real-time path, speed, and rotation of every single stone.
That almost makes curling sound exciting. You can actually see the geometry of the strategy.
See, it demystifies the sport. But there's a hidden tech story here that's maybe even more important. It's about how the broadcast is produced. Usually you'd ship hundreds of giant trucks filled with servers, they call them OB vans, to the host city. It's a huge carbon footprint.
And this year?
They left the trucks at home, the raw video is sent to the cloud, and the production happens remotely. It cuts the broadcast's energy use by about 50%.
That's huge. It's moving the whole infrastructure from hardware to software.
And that idea of transparency is everywhere. Even the Olympic torch, the essential torch, is made of clear glass, so you can see the tech inside that keeps the flame lit.
I love that. It's like they're showing us the mechanics behind the magic.
Which is the perfect transition to our last story, where a major media institution is becoming a lot less transparent and a lot more algorithmic.
We're talking about the Washington Post. There's been a huge leadership shakeup.
A huge one. Will Lewis, the publisher and CEO, has resigned after a really turbulent 2 years.
And this is just days after they laid off around 300 employees and basically eliminated their entire sports department.
Yeah, morale was reportedly at rock bottom. One source said Lewis was checked out like a library book. But the real story isn't that he's gone. It's who Jeff Bezos picked to replace him.
Jeff D'Onofrio.
A name most people probably don't know.
But
his background is what's key. He was the CEO of Tumblr, the CFO of an ad tech company called Raptive. He's not a newspaper guy.
he's a tech guy, a data guy.
100%. And Jeff Bezos made it really clear in his statement. He said, quote, "Data tells us what is valuable."
Data tells us what is valuable. In a newsroom, that is a very loaded statement.
It's the core tension of modern journalism, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the old model, an editor, a human, decides a story about zoning laws is important even if it doesn't get a million clicks. You run it because it serves the public.
And the new model.
The data model says if the zoning story has low clicks, it's low value. If some controversial opinion piece gets a million shares, that's high value. D'Onofrio himself said customer data will drive their decisions going forward.
So the fear is that they'll stop giving the audience the news they need and just give them the news they click on.
It's the Netflix-ification of news. You cancel a great show if it doesn't get binged. You cut the sports desk because you can get scores anywhere, so it's not high value. It's a shift from editorial judgment to algorithmic curation.
And we've seen how that plays out on social media. Applying it to a legacy paper like the Post is, wow, it's a big deal.
It is. It connects everything. The AI ads are trying to manufacture trust. The Olympics are immersing us in data. And now the news itself is being shaped by our own clicks.
That's a heavy thought for a Monday. But before we wrap this all up, we want to give a shout out to our friends at Skoni.
That's spelled S-K-O-N-I, pronounced Skoni. If you're a golfer, you need to check them out. They make premium golf shoes that are actually comfortable.
And they look great. They don't look like these big, clunky space boots. They just look like stylish shoes that happen to have amazing traction.
Totally. And we've got a promo code for you. Use the code SNARFL at checkout for 15% off your entire purchase.
Just head over to their website, skoni.com.
So a quick recap of what we've connected today.
First, the AI giants are in a full-blown war for our hearts and minds, using everything from snarky humor to emotional appeals to win our trust before regulators do.
Second, the Winter Olympics are giving us a glimpse into the future of sports broadcasting. It's not just watching anymore, it's being immersed in the data, all while cutting the carbon footprint in half.
And finally, the Washington Post is making a hard pivot. By putting a tech CEO in charge, they're signaling that data, not editors, will decide what news is valuable.
Which leaves us with a question to think about this week. If the news you see is decided only by what you click on, are you actually getting informed?
Or are you just building a digital mirror that only reflects your own biases back at you? Something to chew on. We're here to help at Snarful, so reach out on our website if you have any more questions.
That's a wrap on today's top stories. Remember, tech doesn't have to be complicated, and we're here to help connect the dots. If you've got questions or want to learn more, visit us at snarful.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.